Hello, my name is Sarah. Welcome to the It is a Sarah podcast. Today it is Monday, December 8th, and in this episode I want to share my handwerk perikelen, which is a Dutch word for my creative adventures from this week with you. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I make my episodes in Dutch and in English, so be sure you pick the right one. You can watch them both with subtitles or even voiceovers. I am still working on the front porch sweater, a pattern by Haggerty. This sweater will be for my son. It's an all-over cable drop shoulder construction. I had some issues with the pattern lining up and I reached out to Kevin and he replied that it is indeed part of the pattern in some sizes to create a good fit, and he is considering to refresh the pattern and eliminate that part. I think I need one more cable repeat and then I can start knitting it around. Let's go to another sweater in a little bit of the same color. This is the Arctic Light sweater. It's a pattern by Kike and I knitted it 2 years ago for my youngest daughter. I knitted with Filcolana Peruvian Highland wool. It was a new to me yarn. I really loved knitting with it. It felt very soft and the thread of the yarn was really nice to knit with, but it does pill a lot. I think the softer the yarn, the bigger the chance it will pill. I don't like the look of pilling knitted fabric. It looks a little bit sloppy to me and my knitting doesn't deserve to look sloppy. So I have this little depill thing, a little tool which I found accidentally in a random store a few years back, and I can't compare it with other ones because I only had this one and it's not really doing its job very well. It does work, but it goes very slow and I need to go over the fabric many times to get it really depilled. And at some point I wondered if the batteries were still full enough. So I did replace the batteries and suddenly it worked so much better. And it reminded me that that's exactly how we work as human beings. We can still function with low battery, but it's just not as powerful as when we are fully recharged. So it was a nice reminder to myself to recharge my battery on time. And with those full batteries, it was actually a very satisfying task to do. My knitting really looked so much better after the depilling, and a lot of fuss came off the sweater. I need to empty the reservoir very often. I think that's important too for ourselves. Don't forget to empty your reservoir. And yeah, I'm really happy with the end result. My daughter can wear this beautiful garment, and she did immediately the next day. This is what I do a lot these days, just sitting and knitting with an extra light because it's getting so dark outside. Even during the day it's gray and dark and I need extra light to see my stitches as good as possible. There's a little dove hanging at my light. It was a gift from my kids for my birthday and I really love the look of it. So this is my happy place actually. This afternoon my parents came for a cup of tea. They live quite close to us. They were on their bikes and I'm always very proud on all the knitwear my mom and my dad are wearing. My mom is the knitter and she knits all the things for herself and also for my dad. And I'm showing you some, no, I'm not showing you, I'm showing them some of my new yarns which just arrived that day. I will show them later in the podcast. And it's very nice to share those lovely heart jumping moments with my mom. But as you probably could see, also with my dad, he's also very interested because he is absolutely very knit worthy. He loves to wear all the handmade items. He wears the sweaters, the cardigans, the hats, and yeah, it's really lovely that a lot of family members are so knit worthy because my mom and I, we can spread our love through the knitted items. Very special. It is Wednesday morning and I am preparing for a special appointment. Wednesday mornings are actually for one of my favorite weekly routines. I have 3 lovely neighbors and every Wednesday morning we have a coffee and we only do 1 hour coffee and we chat about all the things which are happening in our lives, and it's a very special moment and I'm always very glad I can share it with such lovely ladies just around the corner. As you probably can see, I am doubting about which cardigan to wear. I think it's a luxury problem. One of my neighbor friends is a knitter as well. As you can see, she's wearing her beautiful cardigan and a beautiful shawl. I brought my camera to this appointment because I really want to practice with filming in the wild, and we are we are discovering how the camera is working because it's still a little bit confusing. It always feels a little bit uncomfortable to film in the wild, but it's nice to share the uncomfortable feeling with a friend. And yeah, I really want to bring you with me more in my creative life, actually. This is, of course, not a creative trip. It's just having breakfast. Oh, I forgot to tell what's the reason for this special occasion. Normally we have coffee at one of my neighbors, but today they invited me to have a breakfast at a lovely location. It's a birthday present. My birthday was a few weeks ago, and now we will have breakfast together. Of course, I brought my knitting because I don't go anywhere without my knitting, and I only knitted a few stitches because I'm not a good chedder and knitter at the same time. And at these moments, I prefer shedding, but still, every knitted stitch is one, so I was very happy.
Heel veel foto's gemaakt in het pashokje. Toen zei ze, kun jij die nabreien voor mij? Dus dat ben ik nu. Probeer dan altijd jullie hoofden erbij te beelden.
The breakfast was very good, and our bellies were filled with all the lovely food. And of course, the company was very nice. It was so special to start my Wednesday morning just during the week with lovely friends at a lovely spot with lovely food and lovely knitting.
Oké, ik doe weg. We hebben genoeg. Ja. Ik wil eten. Heb ik
Back home, it's really a few hours later. I think it's end of the afternoon because it's getting dark again. It is time to check my front porch weather because I think I am quite close to start joining in the round. I'm really looking forward to that part. I really love the pattern. I did make some changes and I will add them to my Ravelry project page when I'm finished. But I am having so much fun with this sweater. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a beautiful new Montserrat plant. It was actually something I found at the street. We have those central garbage points where we collect our garbage, all the people in the street. it are underground containers, and next to that container was this beautiful plant. I found it when I was doing my morning walk, my very early morning walk in the weekend. I think it was around 6:30, and the plant was there so sad and alone and cold. So I thought, let me bring you with me to a nice warm home. And this was the only spot I could put the plant, and I really love the green, the touch of green in our living room. And I think the plant is feeling well because she is doing very well. This is one of my favorite knitting spots in our house, just a cozy chair. It is in our bedroom, which I also call my knitting office during the day. We live in quite a small house with 5 persons, and I think it's very important everyone has a spot he can spend some alone time when needed, and I just love some quiet knitting every now and then. So I really enjoy knitting on my sweater. I am working with Sandnes Perikelen. It's a 100% Norwegian wool. It's a DK weight yarn. It's really a woolly yarn. It is a little bit itchy, a little bit rustic, but not too much. It's a little bit in between, I guess. And I really like the stitch definition of this yarn. And also, it's very easy to knit with. It's very accessible and it gives a nice looking fabric. The color I'm knitting with, I can't remember the number, but I think I will show you in a minute. 30-1. I don't know if the color has another name, but it's a little bit of a brownish gray oatmeal like color. At this point I have knitted enough length, so I am counting my stitches right now. I am still struggling with following the pattern and the cable pattern lining up, so I need to make my own decisions, and it's not a problem. It does work out how I want it to be, I think, so I am very happy, but it asks for a little bit attention to make things work. Still very happy with my lowrider cardigan. I love the colors, I love the fit. It's really a HeartJumping project. I received a very special and lovely gift in the mail. This is made by a viewer of the podcast, and she crocheted 2 Frida Kahlo brooches. I think you say it like that in English. In Dutch we say broche. A bigger one and a tiny one, and they look adorable, and especially for me she gave them brown flowers, and I really love it. I joined the front and the back of my front porch sweater, and I knitted one yarn ball away, And now is the point that I must decide what I will do next. I am quite sure I will start knitting one sleeve so I can check the fit on my son before I will finish the body. I do that quite often when I make top-down things. Finish the sleeves and the neckline, the neck ribbing first, so you are sure that the fit is okay and that it's long enough, and then you can knit the body. So this weekend I will pick up the stitches for the sleeves and I will start knitting one, and I really hope the fit is good because I went up one size. I didn't block the sweater because it doesn't matter. I will finish it anyway. I don't have other options than knitting this size. So if it's too big, it will be an oversized sweater. We shall see. I love the look of it. Hello, hello! It is Friday afternoon and I am waiting actually. I just finished my HeartJumping Friday episode. I have a membership part on my YouTube channel. You pay for it monthly and you get an extra episode every Friday, which I call the HeartJumping Friday episode. And those episodes are mainly for answering all your questions. If you have questions about your own knitting or crochet project, about mine, about knitting or crochet in general, or whatever creative questions, I love answering them, and every now and then there's some time for extra chatting, and I love chatting always. So I'm waiting right now. My episode is uploading and I have to wait before I can finish it. And I have the perfect waiting project. I already showed it a few times on the episode, I guess, on the podcast, I guess. But it's been a while. It's my stripy bed blanket. It is such a HeartJumping project. It's really satisfying. Endless rows of the simplest, smallest crochet stitch in all the colors. It is such a calming and relaxing project, and I don't work much on it. Actually, it's my edit project. I have it on my lap when I'm editing videos, when I have to wait, and also every now and then when I'm waiting for the laundry, for the washing machine to be finished, I do some crocheting, and it's just making me happy every time. I think it's very helpful to have a project, a waiting project in every room of your house. Because there are, and in your backpack as well, and in your car, there are always moments you need to wait. And I'm not really a patient person, but with interesting projects, which I can grab, I don't mind waiting at all. I love waiting, especially, the unexpected waiting. It are actually small recharge moments. I will show you my blanket. It is getting so dark. It is December right now. It is very gray outside, and every year I'm struggling with making good quality episodes because of the light. So yeah, it is what it is. Maybe the quality is not good, but the light quality is not good at all. So it's also real life. So I'm sorry if the colors are weird or the quality of the video is not what you are used. But yeah, it's December. It will last until February, I guess. I have an extra light, but I don't love the light. It looks so fake. It is just, I think it is okay. The light is not sharp. The lines are not sharp. We live in a time when it's I guess perfectly fine that you can't see every detail of everything because it's not needed at the moment. That will be in summer. In June, in May and June, the light is very bright. So let me show you my crochet work. I am knitting with crochet hook 4mm. I have the clover needles and I really love them. And this is my project. I was inspired by Emma from the Woolly Mammoth. She made a baby blanket with all the woolly yarn scraps. I have a big basket filled with all the cotton, mainly cotton. Some are a little bit linen or viscose, but it are all plant fibers and plant-based fibers. And a lot of those single yarn balls are leftovers from the time I worked for Long Yarns. I made pictures for their Dutch social media a few years ago, and I was allowed to keep all the things. So that was very generous, but now I have a big stash with all those cotton single balls, and I really love to keep it moving. So turning it into a project, which is very bright and colorful actually, but that's one of the reasons why it's making me so happy. It is the endless stripe, which is so calming to make. I just cast on a certain amount of stitches, which I can't remember. I also didn't write it down because it was not important. I just made a long row of change, which was the same as the width of my bed, of our bed, because I thought it would be lovely to put it on our bed one day. I don't know if the colors are really my taste, but we shall see. It does fit. And I also decided to not weave in the yarn ends, but just make this like a kind of tassel decorative detail. It will save me a lot of time. And also I don't know if I really love the look of weaving in the yarn ends. So I just hang them there and I will cut them shorter, but I will decide in the end how short. I did cut the lower ones on a length of 10 centimeters, but I think it's still quite long. I will decide when the blanket is finished. I don't know if it will ever happen because it's quite a big project, but it feels so lovely. The smallest stitch, in Dutch we call it een vaste. In English, you have the UK and the US terms. I will search for it one moment. I found a Dutch website with a schedule. In Dutch we call it een vaste. In UK English, you call it a double crochet, and in US English, a single crochet. So it's actually the smallest stitch. You have a chain stitch and you have a slip stitch, which in English is also called a single crochet. That's the confusing part. They start earlier, one stitch, with mentioning it different. Double crochet, single crochet. Lovely stitch, lovely fabric. It feels great. It is very flexible, very nice. The drape of the fabric is very nice because it's such a small stitch. It's not stiff at all, but I'm crocheting with a 4mm hook and I would never use that for a granny stitch pattern, for example. But because I'm a loose knitter, I thought it is okay to use such a big needle. So it's actually very nice. So I will crochet and then I will finish my Heart Jumping Friday episode. Okay, I am playing with my Syli cardigan. Oh, there goes my crochet hook. Yeah, I damaged my cardigan because I was standing too close to the wood stove, so a part of the wool burned. I tried to secure it with some needle felting. I had very much fun doing it, but in the end, I noticed that it needed quite a thick layer to cover all the holes, and still, look right here, still it's not really covering everything. So yeah, the fabric is very thick and has a different drape, actually no drape, but it's a very big difference with the rest of the fabric, which is quite drapey at all. So I think it's 2 weeks ago I did that, and since then I am thinking about what to do. I don't like it. I love the idea of the needle felted flowers, but it doesn't look nice and neat, and also the bulky part, which is bulking out, is bothering me. Some of you commented under my video that I could also just shorten the cardigan because it was knitted top down. That was actually quite funny because it's the most easy option and I didn't think of it at all. So last 2 weeks I spent quite some time thinking about what to do. And I knew I can always shorten it. So thank you for letting me know the most simple option. Sometimes it's so easy you just don't see it. And this afternoon I suddenly felt that I want to finish the fixing part of this cardigan because I love wearing it, but not now because I don't love this part. So I thought, okay, let's shorten it. So I just cut one of the legs of the stitches and I was unraveling the yarn. It is very rustic yarn, so I don't need to worry about those stitches going anywhere. And while I was doing it, I have this yarn ball left, so it was my plan to weigh this part, but I am quite sure I can knit the ribbing with this yarn. And I thought, oh, all this knitted fabric which I won't use, I cannot really use, I cannot frog it because it will break at the end of every row. And I was unraveling and suddenly I thought maybe I can, that was one of my own solutions, maybe I can just cut this part out. Already unraveled a little bit too far, so I grabbed 2 needles which were most close to me there. Actually those long wooden needles are more decorative, but I picked 2 needles and I will Kitchener stitch those stitches together, and I am also reinforcing with some crochet slip stitches. So I will reinforce right there and I will reinforce right there. Then I will cut this lovely but ugly flower away and I will reknit a little piece of fabric and I think I will just sew it down, but I'm not quite sure how I will fix that. I'm also not quite sure if it will look nice, but it's not really... I can do the simplest option anyway. When it doesn't turn out nice, I can just cut off the whole part, unravel the whole part and knit a new ribbing. That will work. I am 100% sure that it will work. But I also love trying new things, which I'm not sure about if it will work. So I am actually playing, and it is something I really love to do, and I absolutely recommend when you are not happy with a part of your knitting and you are okay with going back anyway, frogging it, ripping back, knitting backwards, you will do that anyway, then you can play before you frog that part because you can always rip or frog or knit back. But before doing that, you can allow yourself to play a little bit and maybe learn something new. Maybe not, maybe it will not work out. That's also okay, but at least I've tried. So I will do that. Wish me luck. Okay, I turned the camera. I'm sorry if I look a little bit tired. I am. Went way too late to bed yesterday and woke up way too early. It is Saturday today. But I had fun, so that's important. And I am still having fun because of this. I must confess it was quite impulsive doing this. I'm actually cleaning the house right now, but you know that feeling when you are cleaning and you are organizing. I saw my cardigan, I'm sorry, vest is the Dutch word for cardigan. I saw my cardigan hanging over the chair and suddenly I felt the need to fix my problem immediately. So I dropped all the things I had with me, my vacuumer, my dust thing, the thing I dust with, and I started doing it. So that's what I am at right now, but it is time to let it rest. I will turn the camera because this is where we are. I cut the piece out. It went very well. I must say this is absolutely rustic yarn, very rustic yarn. It is not a specific brand. It was gifted to me by a lovely lady, and it was from her mom, and she didn't know what to do with it, and she said, I think it will be a HeartJumping yarn for you, and it definitely is. So it is a rustic worsted weight, with nothing, no more information, no labels, nothing. I did Kitchener this line. It is a little bit visible, but it is not a problem for me when this part will be a little bit visible. I actually like that idea because there was happening something. Something happened at this part, so it's okay when you see that part. But it must be a certain level of noticing it. This was not the level I liked, and we will try to do best with this part. I just put a DPN in it. It's a little bit too thick, I guess. So I will check my Ravelry project page for the right needle size, and then I will knit back and forth a little piece of fabric, and I think I will sew it down. And I am very curious how it will look. And if it doesn't work, I will rip back all this way and add a little bit of a bottom ribbing. But I hope this will work because I actually love it. I can do it in a contrasting yarn. That would also be nice. That was my first idea, but I don't feel that I want it anymore. So this was it for this week. I won't give you the end result because then my episode will be too long, but I am pretty sure if I manage to fix my cardigan, I will talk about it in my Dutch Monday episode, which is also which you can also watch with English subtitles and even an English voiceover. So if you are curious to the end result, check my Dutch episode, and if you don't want to watch that, it's also okay. I will probably tell you some other time anyway. So thank you for watching this week's episode. Thank you for being here. I wish you a wonderful week filled with a lot of heart jumping moments. If you can't find them, create them. I am busy creating one. I don't know what the end result will be. This was definitely not heart jumping, but the fact that I am playing is heart jumping. And that's the most important, I guess. Okay, bye bye!